Part 123. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1223. Demon Slaughter Mountain. Zhang Zizai had just settled down. After coming back from the chaotic demon realm, his mood dropped to the bottom, but his will was still burning. He really didn't believe that he could solve the reincarnation calamity back then, but now he had to watch Yanner die with his own eyes. Even though she still looked indifferent, Zhang Zizai couldn't bear it. At night, he could only sit with her under the starry night and look at the vast night sky. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. To be honest, everything about the immortal master made him completely realize that this was already another person. This was the most desperate time for him. Moreover, this is basically irreversible, because the 9 immortals are indeed only a very small part of her. This is not a matter of priority, not 2 souls, but 1 body. It is simply impossible to separate a 9 immortals from her body. In other words, the 9 immortals he once was are already dead. I never thought that after coming to God's realm, I would face such tragic consequences. She was gone. Zhang Zizai didn't like that Yanner would die because of this reincarnation disaster, so he temporarily put aside the 9 immortals. At least in these few years, he knew that all his goals were to make Yanner stay alive. A woman with a miserable life can no longer endure life and death because of herself. There was fire in his chest. Even though he was very strong now and became stronger very quickly, he still longed for power and was eager to dominate everything. His destiny is different from others. Maybe ordinary people become gods and can control their destiny and protect their loved ones and family. But when he reaches this level, he finds that it is not enough and he needs stronger power. He held her palm, his big hand holding her small hand. In fact, he was restraining himself, but he still rubbed her palm very hard, making it red. At this moment, Azure Wood Dragon Lord came. "I'm not disturbing you young people's romance," King Mulongzun said with a smile. Zhang Zizai was not in the mood to joke with him. Everything today was planned by the gods of the Supreme Dragon Clan. They also wanted Yanner to die. Zhang Zizai would never forget this. "I have good news to tell you," King Mulongzun said straight to the point. "Palace Master, please speak." Zhang Zizai calmed down. "Sometimes, you can't let others see your emotions, it's too immature." "Do you know the 49 sacrifice?" King Mulongzun said. Zhang Zizai shook his head, he knew nothing about it. "Then I'll start from the beginning so that you can understand more easily. Last time our holy dragon heavenly clan worshipped our ancestors and paid homage to the origin dragon cave. Do you have an impression? Azure Wood Dragon Lord sat on a black rock, facing he was smiling, not in a hurry, and looked like he was going to chat with Zhang Zizai for a long time. "Of course I have an impression." Zhang Zizai nodded. "Actually, the 49 sacrifice is equivalent to an enlarged version of ancestor worship." He paused and continued, "You also know that the 49 divine realm is the ruler of all worlds, the pinnacle. Under the 49 divine realms, there are countless small divine realms. Each small divine realm rules countless totem worlds. This is the framework of our entire big world, but outside of this framework, there are still some magical places. Yes, the level of some places even exceeds that of the 49th divine realm, and the ancient realm is such a special place. Immortal realm." Zhang Zizai had never heard of this name before. "Yes, the immemorial realm is the center of the 49 divine realms. In other words, it is the center of our entire world. It is said that the immemorial realm inherits the place of origin and is the source of the development of the entire world. In the deepest part of the immemorial realm, there is a place called the Origin Cave. It is said that the ancestors of all the creatures in the 49 god realms were born from this Origin Cave." King Mulongzundeo. "Isn't it said that the Supreme Dragon Clan was born from the Origin Dragon Cave?" Zhang Zizai asked doubtfully. "They are all rumors, whether they are true or false. Who knows where the source is? Maybe our supreme dragon clan was born in the origin dragon cave, while other life forms in the 49 divine realms were born in the origin cave in the ancient realm. In fact, it is not known until now. No one can be sure that none of this is important. What is important is that the origin cave is indeed a larger, more mysterious, ancient, and more shocking holy land than the origin dragon cave. Our supreme dragon clan is also different from the other 49 divine realms. Like the gods, the origin cave is also regarded as the holy place of origin. The 49 divine realms have the habit of worshipping the origin cave, but the cycle is very long. Basically, it only happens once every 30,000 to 40,000 years, while the origin dragon cave is worshipped thousands of times. Maybe I will go to origin cave once. Zhang Zizai understood. This is the mystery of the whole world. No one knows exactly where life originated. But it is certain that the origin cave is definitely a holy place. In the words of Dragon Lord Aoki, that is the core and center of the entire world. The 49 sacrifices that the palace master just mentioned are the 49 divine realms going to the origin cave to worship together, right? Zhang Zizai asked. He hadn't heard the so-called good news yet. Yes. It's the same as ancestor worship, but in a different way and on a larger scale. In the ancient realm, since it is the center of the entire world, are there more powerful races living there? Zhang Zizai asked. In fact, he had thought about whether there were existences stronger than the 4 dragon emperors and immortal lords. If there were, they should have been born from such a race. You guessed it wrong. Life does not exist in the ancient realm. It is the place that inherits the place of origin. The place of origin is chaos. The 49 sacrifices were arranged jointly by all the divine realms, Zhang Zizai asked. You are wrong again. Every time the 49 sacrifices are held, it is actually arranged by one person. Who? Zhang Zizai was stunned. Who has such great authority to arrange for the 49 gods to come to worship? This chapter is not over, please click on the next page to continue reading. He is the guardian of the ancient realm and exists at the entrance of the origin cave. Is there such an existence? What clan does he come from? Zhang Zizai asked. Aoki Dragon Lord smiled and said, he does not come from any clan. His history of existence is extremely long. It is even rumored that he is on the same level as our oldest ancestor. He is the oldest god in the world, at least as good as our Aoki dragon ancestor. It is an era. It is said that he was born directly in the place of origin. He has the same lifespan as heaven and earth, and is truly immortal. Even now, he is the strongest man in heaven and earth. No one has ever been able to resist him. The authority. He is the king among the gods, but he only guards the origin cave. He will only appear during the 49 sacrifices. It is up to him to decide when the 49 sacrifices will be held. Zhang Zizai was really shocked. He didn't expect that there is such an existence in the world. This world has existed for countless long time. He actually lives the same life as heaven and earth, and is in the same era as the ancestors. How long has he survived? The king among them must be much stronger than the 4 dragon emperors. This kind of character will not conquer the world. If he conquers the world, he will be the master of the heaven, earth, and universe. He had a hunch that it seemed that the so-called 49 sacrifices were not that simple. How to call him? Zhang Zizai asked curiously. He calls himself Old Man Qingyang, but we all call him Qingyang Ancient God. He is the lord of the ancient realm and the guardian of the origin cave. His power is so powerful that there is nothing he can do between heaven and earth. Something that cannot be imagined. Speaking of this person, Dragon Master King Mu became a little excited. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Feng Qingyang. Chapter 1224. The Ancient God of Qingyang. Zhang Zizai remembered it, so he asked, Palace Master, after talking so much, what was the good news you said at the beginning? King Mu Dragon Lord laughed and said, simple, 49 sacrifices, under the gods to participate, our Supreme Dragon Lord has 100 places, when the time comes, we will enter the immemorial realm and withstand 5 years of competition in the immemorial realm. Training, withstanding the test of the Qingyang ancient god, there are thousands of people in total, and the one who finally gets the first place, can face the origin cave, worship the place of origin, will get incredible blessings, and most importantly, as the origin the guardian of the cave, Qingyang ancient god will grant the first wish. As long as it is a wish that he thinks is reasonable, there is almost no possibility that it will not be fulfilled. Moreover, there are many incredible creations in the ancient realm, that is all. It's a pity that people can only visit this place once every 30,000 to 40,000 years. Before I became a god, I only visited it once. It was definitely the most unforgettable experience in my life. A wish? A wish that he thinks is reasonable? What does it mean to be reasonable? Zhang Zizai asked. You can rest assured about this. He will not let anyone down. As long as your wish is not to destroy the entire world or annihilate a race, he will basically agree to it. Some people even wish to become gods directly, and he can do it. You can do it. And even if it's unreasonable, you'll be satisfied anyway, King Mu Longzun said with a smile. Having said all that, the good news is, are we going to this ancient realm? Zhang Zizai asked. Yes, you got a chance, so do you know what the good news is now? King Mu Longzun asked. Please give me some advice, Palace Master Zhang Zizai said sincerely. Once you get the first place, I won't go into details about those good fortunes. You have a lot of good fortunes. The most important point is that you can make your wish to Qingyang ancient god. What is your wish at this moment? I think this wish should be easy for him. At that time, you will still have time. Zhang Zizai understood what he meant. He glanced at Yanner and asked again, are you sure that the reincarnation will be easy for him? Nonsense, if you make this wish, people will laugh at you. This is the easiest thing for Qingyang ancient god. Do you know what their requirements for other god kings are? Once you get the first place, directly make your wish and ask Qingyang ancient god Yang killed the immortal lord, King Mu Longzun said. Zhang Zizai took a deep breath and suddenly smiled, then why are you giving me such preferential treatment? Everyone hopes that I will also kill the immortal lord. King Mu Longzun suddenly burst into laughter. He patted Zhang Zizai on the shoulder and said, child, we are not fools. How can this be realistic? You and she have had a relationship, so you can kill her with your own hands. We didn't think so much. After all, Qingyang ancient god will only ask you what your wish is, and no one can let you change it. Secondly, let me be honest, that is the battlefield of the real God King. With your current situation, even if you reach a certain level, you will be cannon fodder. I asked you to go. The first is to give you hope for your efforts. The second is that I saw with my own eyes that you have good luck. If you can achieve success in the ancient realm, it will be a profit. Yes, I'm sorry about Yanner, but at least I gave you a chance to work hard, right? If not, you would have been here for the past 6 years and just struggled and watched her age. He was right, he did give Zhang Zizai hope. Although even he himself didn't think that Zhang Zizai would have any chance of winning first place, the gods wouldn't put their hope in him either. This is indeed good news for Zhang Zizai. Can Yanner go? He asked. That's impossible. The quota given to you is already a bit wasted, let alone her. If you go there, I will take her back to Zilong Academy. Let her wait for your good news with peace of mind. If it comes, this is good news. King Mu Longzun sighed, and then continued, I have asked the immortal dragon emperor. To be honest, it is a pity. From the current situation, it can be inferred that if you stay here for too long, the immortal emperor will not agree. Yours, she doesn't have much hope. The ancient realm is your only chance. Although I personally think the hope is slim, at least there is a way to go. Zhang Zizhe glanced at Yan'er, eyes turbulent. So you decide to participate? If you don't go, I'll go back and tell you to free up a spot, King Mulongzun asked casually. I'm going. How could I not go? Zhang Zizhe smiled slightly, as if he had just made a very relaxed decision. He was different from many people. When he had no way to go, a road suddenly appeared. Even if it was just a thorny path, it was already light and hope for him. As for the real difference between himself and the God King, he didn't bother to think about it. In 5 years, who knows what will happen? Anyone can conclude that he must have nothing to do with the first place in the 49th festival. Yan'er, wait for me for 5 years. All the words of love have turned pale, and Zhang Zizhe's thousands of words have all converged into the sentence. You guys say goodbye. Time is very tight. We will set off in a few days. Emperor Shenlong will personally lead the team. After King Mulongzun finished speaking, he turned around and left. After he left, Zhang Zizhe's eyes were intense and his love was deep, and he held her in his arms. Wait until I come back, Zhang Zizhe said again with some choking. Brother Zizi, you must come back. I don't want to wait in vain anymore. It's too hard to wait for someone who won't come back, she whispered. Yes, when she was a child, she was on the swing like this, waiting day by day, and her parents would never come back. Zhang Zizhe felt a prick in his heart. He could not make any promises, and it was meaningless to say anything now. He gently stroked her long hair, then kissed her temples gently, and said in her ear, remember, protect yourself well, don't lose confidence, wait for me to come back, I don't want to see the ugly Yan'er. She burst into laughter, and suddenly she was as bright as a flower. Ah, at such a sentimental time, should I take the opportunity to push you down? Maybe when I come back in 5 years, I will have a baby, Zhang Zizhe laughed. He didn't want the separation to be too heavy. No, in the end, she still refused so straightforwardly. Haha, anyway, one day, you can't escape from my palm. Zhang Zizhe pinched her face, so round and tender, so beautiful, but thinking that it would be old and ugly in 6 years, his breathing became rapid. Man, it's time to fight. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1225. In just a few days, the day of departure arrived. Most of the selected God Kings are near Demon Slaughter Mountain. In the past few days, they are also waiting for the arrival of a small number of other God Kings. After everyone was present, King Mulongzun informed Zhang Zizhe to set off. As for Long Yan, King Mulongzun has promised to personally send Long Yan back to Zilong Academy after Zhang Zizhe sets off. In fact, he also needs to go back and arrange another acting palace master. Zhang Zizhe was about to leave for the ancient realm, so he naturally had to withdraw the protection of the Greenwood Dragon Cauldron. However, he took the initiative to tell Zhang Zizhe that during the 5 years when Zhang Zizhe went to the ancient realm, he would be fully responsible for Long Yan, Lu Dingxing, and Xuanhuan. Human safety. He is a god, he has said so. It is easy for him to protect the 3 gods, so naturally he doesn't have to worry too much. Writing this, I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. Zhang Zizhe didn't need to think about it to know that if the outstanding God Kings of the Supreme Dragon Clan were to fight, the Heavenly Dragon God King would definitely be among them. Sure enough, Azure Wood Dragon Lord told him that he also recommended the Heavenly Dragon God King. On the day he and Zhang Zi explained the origin cave of the ancient realm, the Heavenly Dragon God King had already rushed to the Demon Slaughter Mountain at full speed. I didn't expect that I would fight side by side with him one day. Thinking about it, Zhang Ziyi felt that time passed so fast, and he had grown to such an extent. But in fact, only a little time passed, and he was too fast. He has made up his mind, has a strong fighting spirit, and moves forward indomitably. Naturally, he will not be like his mother-in-law, and he has too many gentle and lingering feelings with Yan'er. At this moment, it is like going out to join the army. Everyone fights for the clan, but he only fights for her. He may not have a glorious mission, but the desire and responsibility in his heart, as well as his love for Yan'er at the moment, give him a stronger will to fight than others. Even everyone else found it extremely difficult to understand that a divine king could participate in the 49 sacrifice, and thought it was an absolute waste of quota. 5 years later, he hugged Longyan gently, kissed her gently on the ear, smiled, and then turned away decisively, leaving her with a back full of faith. Zhang Zizai had sworn that when he went to fight, he would definitely come back with a harvest, and he could not let her wait in vain any longer. He didn't look back, but he knew that this time he set out, at least she also had hope. She trusted him so much, so there was no reason to betray her trust. Soon after, Zhang Zizai arrived at the gathering place. He saw the divine dragon emperor, who was almost the strongest of the supreme dragon clan. At this time, he was tall and serious, waiting for the gathering of 100 divine kings. There were several people. It is quite far away from Demon Slaughter Mountain. Even though we are coming at full speed, it will take some time. For example, the heavenly dragon god king. When Zhang Zizai came here, he happened to see the heavenly dragon god king coming from outside. He saw Zhang Zizai at a glance, came directly to Zhang Zizai, and said with a smile, "It's not easy. For me, the first 2 days you are still working hard to become a god, but today you can participate in the same event as me, which is a bit shocking." He is quite relaxed, and it seems that he also has certain ambitions for the 49 festival. "After I go in, if I meet you, you must protect me," Zhang Zizai said with a smile. "Nonsense, who are you to protect if I don't protect you? As for those 3 children, you don't have to worry about them. I asked the Cyanwood Dragon Lord, and he said that he will not remove the Cyanwood Dragon Cauldron before you come back. As long as the Cyanwood Dragon Cauldron is still there, it's safe. And Yan'er's strength is not weak either. After all, King Mulongzun is a god, so what he says is true, just trust him." Zhang Zizai has no doubt about this. He only has one desire and one goal in his heart now, and that is the ancient realm. If you can't let them go, how can you go out to fight? Calculating this, our Guangming Dragon clan has the largest number of people in the entire Holy Dragon Celestial clan. God King Guanzhao stepped forward and gathered with Zhang Zizai and the others. The total size of the Holy Dragon Celestial clan is about 40, and the other 4 Supreme Dragon clans occupy at least 80 seats. The Holy Dragon Celestial clan only has a dozen seats in total, and the Bright Dragon clan only has 3 people, which is indeed a lot. Some wealthy families may not even have a quota. "You won't be angry with Zhang Zizai for the sacrifice of the Bright Dragon Lord, right?" the heavenly dragon god king asked. "It's meaningless. The injustice has its head, the debt has its owner, what does it have to do with Zhang Zizai? Now I just hope that our brothers from the Supreme Dragon clan can get the first place in the 49 sacrifice and let the ancient god Qingyang kill the immortal lord, to avenge my ancestors," the god king of glory said murderously. This is not only his own wish, but also the wish of the entire Supreme Dragon clan. In fact, Zhang Ziyu is indeed a different kind here. He is too young. The youngest god king is several times his age. There are always some people who are not used to Zhang Zizai being with them and going on expeditions together. After all, his former competitors are all descendants of the Supreme Dragon clan who are within 100 years old. But thinking about the good fortune he received in Zilong Academy, people didn't say much. Anyway, this young man seemed to be very lucky. After 5 years in the ancient realm, he might be able to gain something. Just get a spot yourself. Most people are too lazy to think about anything else, there is no point. After about half a day, the 100 god kings finally arrived. Zhang Zizai looked around and found that most of them were top god kings comparable to the dragon god king. They were basically very strong and very talented. If their realm was below the 5th level of the god king, it would mean that their talent was ridiculously high. The lower the realm, the higher the talent. It is possible to come here. There is no doubt that Zhang Zizai has the youngest realm and age, so his talent is naturally unmatched. The Dragon Emperor stood at the top. After everyone arrived, he coughed, and everyone held their breath for a while, waiting for his orders. I only have one thing to say. The Dragon Emperor looked at everyone and said word by word, 5 years, try your best. Once you succeed, you will be the supreme hero of our clan. You can choose any resources. Once the immortal venerable dies, our clan will be worry-free for 1,000,000 years. Yes. The god kings are not young anymore, but this battle still makes them excited. After all, once successful, it will be a reversal of fate, and there will be plenty of opportunities to become gods. Just worshipping the origin cave is an incredible fortune. Finally, the Dragon Emperor added another sentence. If you make a wish and don't make the wish to kill the immortal venerable because of your selfishness, then you will be a sinner of our clan and be despised for eternity. The gods of our clan will definitely kill you. Because such behavior is more hateful than the immortal venerable. Everyone looked at each other. In fact, everyone has a little selfishness, but they know what an embarrassing situation the Supreme Dragon clan is facing now. In such a situation, this wish is extremely important, so it is understandable that the Dragon Emperor is so solemn. Please bookmark this site to read the latest novels. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1226. Don't worry, Dragon Emperor. This is our mission. Yes, in this lifetime, we finally have the opportunity to make contributions to our clan. No one will mess around with this matter. That's short-sighted. They are all from the same clan, and Dragon Emperor emphasized this matter again, so basically no one should object. If you get first place, you have to kill the immortal venerable, Zhang Zizai asked the Dragon God King in a low voice. Regarding this matter, King Mu Dragon Venerable has made an exception for him, but that's because they didn't expect Zhang Zizai to succeed. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow diamondsuit. Otherwise, if I don't make a wish, I will be hunted down by the entire Supreme Dragon clan, Dragon God King said. Ye Zhang Zizai nodded. This was actually the freedom of the heavenly Dragon God King, so he couldn't say more. In fact, there was no need to think so much about this issue, because there would be so many competitors and the situation would be so dangerous. No one knew who would make it to the end. If you think too much now, it would basically be a waste of time and meaningless. Let's go. At the command of the Dragon Emperor, all the God Kings were passionate at this moment. They turned directly into totem beasts. Huge and sacred totem dragons appeared in the wilderness. For a while, hundreds of dragons roared, and the scene was very spectacular. In such an occasion, Zhang Zizai, who had not yet become a God King, was a little embarrassed. He could indeed turn into a totem dragon, but he couldn't maintain the same long-term travel as them. But in fact, if he flew with the purple fire sky wings, his speed would not be slower than some God Kings. Of course, it would be more comfortable to sit on the heavenly Dragon God King, because you don't even have to travel by yourself. Zhang Zizai studied the totem dragon of the heavenly Dragon God King again. In fact, he was already very familiar with it, but every time he looked at it, he seemed to have new surprises. In fact, although he was a little bit sultry at ordinary times, his body of the dragon was pure white. In terms of beauty, it was not inferior to the beautiful female dragons of the celestial dragon clan, but his whiteness was different, because his whiteness contained 9 colors, and even had different colors from different angles. Zhang Zizai remembered that the heavenly dragon god king was also a holy dragon. He was proficient in the attributes of various holy dragon clans, and was very similar to Zhang Zizai, except that one was black and the other was white. Because of the existence of black petals, all of Zhang Zizai's power carried the attribute of black destruction. "What totem is this?" Zhang Zizai asked. "Shh, it's a secret," the heavenly dragon god king said. "Damn, he's still playing tricks. He's probably a third-rate guy." Zhang Zizai is familiar with him now, so he doesn't have to be too cautious when talking to him. In fact, he originally regarded this Tianlong God King as his mentor, but he himself had no such intention. He has always been more like a brother to protect and take care of Zhang Zizai, so they don't have the master-disciple relationship that people imagine. In addition, he is exactly the same as Zhang Junjian, so sometimes Zhang Zizai really regards him as a brother, even if he is a sworn brother, it doesn't matter. "Haha, sooner or later, you will be stunned by your dog eyes," Tianlong God King laughed. While they were talking, Shenlong Tiandi didn't know what he used, and drew a huge golden circle in front of him. The world within the golden circle suddenly changed and became like a black water surface with ripples. After that, the dragons rushed in directly and crashed into the water surface. The body of the totem dragon sank directly into it and disappeared. "What is this?" "The door of the Void Road. The 49 divine domains are connected by the Void Road. Countless Void Roads form the Void Realm network, just like a big tree. The 49 divine domains are the largest fruits among them. The Void Road is like a branch. Only through the Void Road can you reach the ancient realm," Tianlong God King said. Zhang Zizai understood that this is similar to the Well of the Divine Domain. The Well of the Divine Domain connects the totem world and the small divine domain. The only difference is that the small divine domain is equivalent to the trunk, the totem world is equivalent to countless leaves, and the branches are equivalent to the Well of the Divine Domain. And the ancient realm here is just a special fruit on this Void Realm network. The ancient realm and the 49 divine domains have no affiliation. In fact, the ancient realm is much smaller than the 49 divine domains, and is not at the same level in terms of size. While they were talking, the heavenly dragon god king had already entered the Void Road at the end of the team. Entering it was equivalent to passing through the dragon sacrifice divine domain. The next moment, they came to a void land. This void land was like a passage leading to the endless distance. Then, as they continued to move forward, there would be a fork in the road, a bit like the underground space dug by a mouse. This pipeline was very thick, enough for hundreds of totem dragons to shuttle through it at will. Unfortunately, there was no scenery along the way, so this journey was destined to be a bit boring. Zhang Zizai could not see where the Dragon Emperor was. Anyway, he knew that the gods rarely turned into dragons. After all, their totem dragons were too huge and there was no need for them here. Because the ancient realm ahead was a very competitive place, most people would inevitably feel a little nervous, so basically few people talked when they were on the road. "Do you know what the rules of the ancient realm are?" Zhang Zizai asked. "I'm not sure, I never paid attention to it before. After all, the time interval between the 49 sacrifices is too long, and I didn't expect that I would encounter it again. But I heard that there will be many dangers inside, and that place is the world of Qingyang Taigu God. Once you enter, all the gods in the divine domain can't control you, and you have to follow the rules of Qingyang Taigu God. It is said that the rules are not the same every time, depending on the mood of Qingyang Taigu God, but it must be very dangerous, and there is a lot of possibility of death. To tell you, the mortality rate of the 49 sacrifices in history is 30%, that is to say, of our 100 people, there may be less than 70 who come back alive," Tianlong God King said cautiously. "Will people die?" Of course they will die. When they reach a place that is out of the rules, no one can see them. Most people act alone. If they meet their enemies, they will definitely fight each other, and they may die in the dangers of the ancient realm. Anyway, no one will see them. There was even one time when the first place was finally selected, almost half of the people died, and many of the remaining people were also seriously injured, Tianlong God King said. Then why do so many people want to go? They are looking for death, Zhang Zizai said with a smile. You don't understand this? People die for money, birds die for food. The ancient realm is the most dangerous place, and it is also the place with the most luck. There are heavenly artifacts born from heaven and earth, and even heavenly talismans, and countless luck. Please bookmark this site to read the latest novels. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Feng Qingyang. Chapter 1227. Once you get the first place, it's even more incredible. Do you know why the Supreme Dragon Clan has 4 Dragon Emperors? That's because the 4 of them are the 4 people who have won the first place in the 49 festivals in the recent history of the Supreme Dragon Clan. In other words, at least half of the top 100 super gods in the entire 49 gods realm have won the first place in the 49 festivals. Zhang Zizai understood. No wonder these people are so in awe of the Qingyang ancient god. It turns out that almost all the super gods in the entire 49 gods realm were created in the origin cave. At least it determines their future. These 4 dragon emperors were all legends of the prosperous times. They were not from the same era. Among them, the dragon emperor had the longest history. The reason why they survive to this day is that they are too strong, so they are immortal. So these 49 festivals are more magnificent than he imagined. Although there is a 30% mortality rate, who would give up the opportunity to become a dragon emperor? Who doesn't want to create a new generation of legends? After all, the Supreme Dragon Clan has not had a legend for too long. For the gods, the generations of gods and kings are all passing clouds. They have witnessed too much. As long as they don't become gods, even if they persist for tens of thousands of years, they will eventually be destroyed. He has a new understanding of the ancient realm. Qingyang ancient god. I wonder how strong this existence is, Zhang Zizai thought. An existence that can realize other people's wishes, an existence that protects the origin cave, is not at the same level as ordinary gods, or even the 4 dragon emperors. He should be Dugukai by Tianlong God King also had some yearning when talking about this person. It seems that you also have some ideas about the ancient realm, Zhang Zizai asked. Nonsense, that's the battlefield where I really rose, and I'm the one who wants to take the first place. My road to becoming a god will start here, Tianlong God King smiled. Then congratulations in advance, Zhang Zizai said. Don't, I have a bad feeling when you say that. You still despise me like others and think that I have no hope at all, Tianlong God King smiled. I dare not. It is said that everyone will be separated after entering. I was hoping to eat and drink with you after meeting you. He had a hunch that this guy was definitely a big shot in there, but he didn't know what his strength level was. To be honest, Zhang Zizai felt that there were more and more mysteries about him. The Void Road was indeed very boring. There was no change around. Sometimes I even thought I was staying in the same place. No matter how fast I flew, I didn't move forward, because the scenery was exactly the same. If there were no forks in the road occasionally, I would think I had stayed in one place for so long. It is said that the sacrifice dragon divine domain is not far from the ancient realm. Even so, they walked here for more than half a month, and they hadn't seen the shadow of the ancient realm for so long. But at this moment, Zhang Zizai was suddenly surprised to see that dozens of stars flew out from a fork in the road in front of him. Those stars were very huge and shining with various colors. All the stars gathered together, which was simply a group of colorful meteors. The picture was gorgeous and shocking. Zhang Zizai didn't realize at first that this was a group of god kings. He really thought that these were just some stars. Taking stars as totems and controlling the power of stars, such a race is also well known throughout the world, that is the Galaxy God clan of the Galaxy God realm. In the Qingchuan small god realm of the Sky Dragon God King, there were people from the Galaxy God realm who went there and gave birth to Ji Yingying with the Lord of the Eternal Night Star. Of course, that God King now seems to be no match for Zhang Zizai, no wonder he is so afraid of the Sky Dragon God King. It was the Sky Dragon God King who told Zhang Zizai that this group of colorful meteors turned out to be from the Galaxy God clan. The two clans suddenly met in this place. When they saw the number of people on the opposite side, they knew that they were also competitors heading to the ancient realm. Since they met here, they would definitely not pretend not to know each other. For a while, the Supreme Dragon clan stopped, and those Galaxy God clan also came here, and the two gathered instantly. They, the God Kings who use objects as totems, are a little inconvenient after turning into totems. It is somewhat similar to Xuanhuan. It does look strange for a dragon to talk to a star, so everyone has a tacit understanding at this time. Both sides directly turn into human form. Zhang Zizai saw that it was really a group of God Kings. The God Kings of the Galaxy God clan all look different. Their skin is full of star luster. Regardless of gender, age, or young, they seem to look similar. It is difficult to distinguish who is who. They can only be identified by their colorful hair. But it must be admitted that both men and women look very good, but the degree of similarity is too high, which makes people dazzled. In the crowd, a purple-haired boy appeared. He also has a pair of bright purple eyes, which seem to have a brilliant starry sky. After he appeared, the Dragon Emperor also appeared quietly and stood opposite him. The Dragon Emperor was a middle-aged man, solemn and majestic, and the purple-haired boy was ethereal, magnificent, and exquisite. Zhang Zizai naturally knew that this was definitely not a young man. He must be countless times older than Zhang Zizai, because this purple-haired boy was the leader of this group of Xing gods. Xing Emperor, long time no see, how are you? Shenlong Emperor smiled slightly. Yeah, long time no see. The purple-haired boy also smiled. He looked young, but from his expression and words, one could tell that he was a person who had existed for countless years. The two of them greeted each other. As competitors, even though they had not yet reached the ancient realm, the Supreme Dragon clan and the Galaxy God clan had already formed a competition. The God Kings were fighting against each other. Although they did not fight each other, they also had a competitive spirit. It seems that the Qingyang ancient god values the Supreme Dragon clan very much and actually gave it 100 places, the Star River Emperor said enviously. There were only about 70 people on their side. Zhang Zizai could see that the relationship between the two clans was not very good, but not too bad either. After all, they did not seem to have much intersection. The Star River Emperor may have forgotten things. We have always had 100 places. It's just that it seems that you have reduced about 10 people. It seems that the Qingyang ancient god does not understand the Star River God clan. As far as I know, the Star River God clan has not declined in recent years, and there are still many good seedlings among the God Kings. The Dragon Emperor smiled. But in fact, Zhang Zizai heard that the reason why the number of the Galaxy God clan has decreased must be that they have weakened. The Dragon Emperor was just being ironic. Please bookmark this site to read the latest novels. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Feng Qingyang. Chapter 1228. Shenlongtian is joking, you and I are both from the Eternal Clan, and ups and downs are normal. We happen to meet each other today, so why don't we go together to the ancient realm? Taiwan Novel Network. Rightward arrow. It's what I asked for. After all, now that they have met, it would be a bit outrageous for them to go their separate ways. So next, the two teams continued on their way, with a slight gap in between. The God Kings of the Supreme Dragon Clan had no intention of getting involved with the Galaxy God Clan, and the other side also had no such intention. Some people were even unhappy because of the few words of the Divine Dragon Emperor just now. Quite a few too. It's unreasonable. There are 100 places for the Supreme Dragon Clan, but the situation is that there are not so many qualified God Kings. Suddenly a black star spoke, and a star made a sound. The scene was still weird. "Why do you say that?" Emperor Shenlong asked with a smile. "Is there a God King over there?" "As far as I know, everyone else is eager to bring all the 9th level God Kings with them. If the Supreme Dragon Clan is not short of talents, how can they use a God King to fill the number?" the Black Star is weird asked. This is a woman's voice, quite crisp and sweet. She must be a peerless beauty. As soon as she finished speaking, Emperor Zing said with a smile, "Don't be offended by Emperor Shenlong. My little girl is young and has no control over her childish talk. She is talking nonsense." The Divine Dragon Emperor smiled and said, "It's quite cute. She turns out to be your daughter. However, we cannot underestimate this Divine Lord. He is now a top genius that our Supreme Dragon Clan has not produced in 100,000 years. Although he is a Divine Lord, but there are many God Kings present, and I'm afraid they are no match for him." "Oh, there is such a person?" For Emperor Shenlong to value him so much, even one can't appear in 100,000 years? It's very interesting to say this. Emperor Zing didn't expect that Emperor Shenlong would praise this person so much. In fact, Emperor Shenlong is like this. The words itself have the meaning of counter-provocation. What is the level of a genius with 100,000 years? If the level is very low, then the Supreme Dragon Clan will be embarrassed by it. Zhang Zizai didn't expect that the Divine Dragon Emperor would suddenly put such a label on him, and he would be thrust into the limelight all of a sudden. Everyone on the other side was staring at him, and he could only smile. "You can only giggle? I heard that the Supreme Dragon Clan asked a woman named Xianzun to make you upset and kill many God Kings. Is that why the God Kings were asked to participate in the 49 sacrifices?" Unexpectedly, this woman is not just a childish talker, but she speaks without restraint. This sentence is very arrogant. You must know that the Immortal Lord is the pain point of the Supreme Dragon Clan, and most people will not talk nonsense. It is undoubtedly a provocation. Presumptuous. Shut up. This gave Emperor Zing a headache. He was very embarrassed and quickly apologized to Emperor Shenlong. "I'm sorry, it's embarrassing." Emperor Shenlong smiled and said nothing more. To be honest, a daughter who has already become a God King still has such a lawless character and talks nonsense about everything. She is indeed uneducated. This is the failure of the Emperor of the Galaxy. Maybe this woman thought she was in the Galaxy God realm. That is indeed her world. It wasn't until Emperor Zing scolded her that she finally shut her mouth. The scene was extremely embarrassing, but at this moment, a young man's voice suddenly sounded. He said, "Galaxy Emperor, don't blame her, this sister is just telling the truth. The Immortal Lord has really troubled us. After all, this person is indeed very strong, but I'm not just using it to fill up the numbers. If you are really doubtful, you can give me a try before going to the ancient realm." The person who spoke was none other than Zhang Zizai. Yes, he is so tough. Facing such an arrogant guy, there is no need to be polite at all. He is indeed naturally warlike. He can see that this is a good opponent. After reaching such a state, he has been fighting the Divine Beast King, and the opponent who really puts him in a tense state has not yet appeared. Moreover, Zhang Zizai actually thought of a deeper level. Here he stood up for the face of the Supreme Dragon Clan. The Dragon Emperor would see it. They would definitely like to see that he was angry for the honor of the Supreme Dragon Clan. He will take action because someone insults him. Kill two birds with one stone. Even though the God Kings were not very optimistic about Zhang Zizai's journey to the ancient realm, when he stood up at this time, it was directly equivalent to issuing a challenge to the opponent. Basically, he couldn't help but applaud in his heart. "Are you going to destroy the flowers again?" the heavenly dragon God King smiled. "Not necessarily. After all, she is the daughter of the Emperor of the Galaxy." Zhang Zizai actually did not underestimate his opponent. If he really did, he actually had no interest in fighting. Just after Zhang Zizai finished speaking, the woman was stunned for a long time, then suddenly smiled and said, "Okay, I'll give it a try and see what the genius of the Supreme Dragon Clan has been for 100,000 years." After saying that, she transformed from the stars into a human form. She was indeed a charming beauty. She had the same long purple hair and eyes as the Emperor of the Galaxy. She was well proportioned and tall, with an excellent figure, long legs, thin waist, and beautiful skin. Xuanhuan has a strong sense of strength, and she is also wearing a tight-fitting short skirt, which fully highlights her curvy figure. She is also the absolute focus among the Galaxy God Clan. She can be called the goddess among the stars. She is definitely the level of the top 3 beauties in Zilong Academy. Her name should be Yin Zhaijun, the youngest daughter of the Emperor of the Galaxy. Her current realm should be the 3rd level of the God King. She has a totem, the ancient black hole meteorite totem. She is not too old, only about 100 years old. The God King Guanzhao was right next to him. He knew many people and introduced Zhang Zizai first. Around 100 years old, and still called Tongyan Wuji? Those who are doing well at this age are my great-grandmother. Zhang Zizai was amazed. Sure enough, these people don't take age as a matter of fact. Zhang Zizai's voice was not loud, but it was audible. Yes, he also deliberately let Yin Zhaijun hear it. This directly pissed off the beauty. From her angry face, it can be seen that this is another super princess who is spoiled and lawless. She is sick all over and needs treatment. The 3rd level of the God King. When he entered the battle state, Zhang Zizai had forgotten everything. There was only this woman in front of him. He imagined the other party as a divine beast. Now, he only wanted to defeat his opponent. As for the beauty and sexiness of the other party, they were all false in his eyes. He would not be polite, nor would he hide, because it was useless. He was still a god. Facing such an opponent, there was a huge gap in the source of ancient gods. So he almost immediately sacrificed the 9-dragon chaos god bell. 9 giant bells surrounded his body, and the ancient breath began to sweep. At this moment, the first person to be stunned was the Emperor of Zeng. He suddenly stared, and the whole person was stunned for a while. 9-dragon chaos god bell, this is impossible. The gods had not reacted yet, but he exclaimed. And the next moment, Zhang Zizai had suppressed it. Please bookmark this site to read the latest novels. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Feng Qingyang. Chapter 1229. Before the God King transformed into a totem beast, he was roughly the same as an ordinary God King. Although Zhang Zizai faced such a powerful God King for the first time, he only treated him as an ordinary opponent. The 9 dragons Chaos Divine Bell showed terrifying power at the first moment. When Zhang Zizai's totem god Chaos Devouring Sky Dragon appeared, the 9 giant bells had a clear division of labor. Some of them strengthened Zhang Zizai himself, and some suppressed Xiang Yin Zhaijun. Wind, earth, and ice immediately enveloped Yin Zhaijun. In the eyes of Yin Zhaijun, who had not yet reacted, Zhang Zizai had already come up with the Emperor Demon Sword Will to Kill. At the same time, behind him, the huge black dragon rose into the sky and descended over Yin Zhaijun. Zhang Zizai was now the totem divine form is very powerful in both time and space and chaos swallowing the sky. The time and space cage created with the totem divine form is much stronger than what Zhang Zizai used himself. Under the swing of the dragon claw, a large number of time-breaking blades and sky-breaking slashes gathered together to form a cage of time and space. Just when 3 giant bells of chaos suppressed Yin Zhaijun, causing him to suffer huge annoyance in a short period of time, the power of the time and space cage gave her even stronger restrictions, especially the power of time, which made it difficult for her to even move. Even with the power of the God King, she could not escape from Zhang Zizai's control at this time. From now on, all Yin Zhaijun has faced is grievance. She originally wanted to easily defeat Zhang Zizai in human form, mock the Supreme Dragon Clan, and humiliate this 100,000-year genius, but she couldn't use any of her abilities when the battle started. The God King level totem weapon Great Thousand Star Fields in her hand cannot even use the Meteor Star Spear way for which she is famous. The space-time cage and the 3 giant bells of chaos almost control her to death. And the next moment, Zhang Zizai suddenly appeared in front of her with chaotic lightning. Without saying a word, he gathered the Emperor Demon Sword Will into a heavy sword and directly launched the 6 paths killing sword formation. The 3 swords of evil are the realm of animals, the realm of hungry ghosts, and the realm of hell. Wherever the sword energy goes, thousands of beasts gallop, evil ghosts surround you, and hell descends. Yin Zhaijun was already under control, and now she had a headache. Her eyes were red, and she was holding a spear in the Great Thousand Star Fields. The tip of the spear pointed out countless stars. For a moment, it was like stars falling, with a huge momentum, but she was under control. All the meteoric spears in the sky were used indiscriminately, and they were retreating steadily in front of Zhang Zizai's 6-path killing sword formation. Zhang Zizai's sword energy finally gathered into the sword formation, and the chaos sky-swallowing dragon above her head had changed into black. The whirlpool and the chaos earth bell were sucking one up and pulling down, almost tearing Yin Zhaijun in half. At this moment, under the pressure of the 6 paths killing sword formation, Yin Zhaijun was retreating steadily. She was able to counter-attack a few times, but now Zhang Zizai could not only resist with the purple fire sky wings, but was also protected by several layers of chaos giant bells. Even if the chaos water the bell and the chaos golden bell were broken, and he still had the chaos wooden bell that could quickly heal his flesh and blood. So it looks like, at least for now, it's definitely going to be a crush. Yin Zhaijun couldn't say anything, she could only yell angrily, and then when she was about to be completely torn apart by Zhang Zizai's Emperor Demon Sword Will, she suddenly changed. In this moment, her body transformed. As a huge black star, countless whirlpools appeared on the surface of the black star. It was only then that Zhang Zizai's 6-path killing sword formation was completely blocked by her. This is her strongest state. Her totem is called Ancient Black Hole Meteor Totem, so the star in front of her is the Ancient Black Hole Meteor. This is somewhat similar to Ji Yingying's totem, but it shouldn't be on the same level at all. Boom! At this moment, the huge ancient black hole meteorite collided towards Zhang Zizai, as if the world was collapsing. It was huge, but the speed was still terrifying. Boom! Zhang Zizai was too lazy to confront him head-on, but he immediately knew where the opponent's strength lay. Her evolutionary source was an ancient black hole, but her natal totem was a meteorite, which was based on stars, and Ji Yingying was based on it. The black hole itself is a totem. Although it is a huge and sharply rotating star, the whirlpool black hole it represents has a strong sucking power. This makes it difficult for people to escape when the meteorite hits, and they may even be sucked in by the meteorite. Collide together. Although their totems are not living creatures, they are actually very difficult to deal with. Zhang Zizai understood that it was not just that the totems were living creatures that made them more powerful. For example, the true form of Yin Zhaijun's totem was very terrifying and could attract all beings and creatures. She collided with her, then was strangled and crushed by her. It's a pity that she met Zhang Zizai at this moment. Zhang Zizai threw the Emperor Demon Sword Will out. The Emperor Demon Sword Will danced like a sword wheel, forming a huge wheel, tearing apart the void and fighting against the meteor. His three giant bells of chaos were still in control. The ancient black hole meteorite left Yin Zhaijun still under the oppression of the time and space cage, and Zhang Zizai's forbidden dragon god still suppressed her current strength. The forbidden dragon divine aspect has always existed, and its function is to reduce the opponent's totem power. She has a black hole vortex, and Zhang Zizai's totem also has swallowing. There is almost no difference in strength between them, so it is completely impossible for her to go on a rampage. Even if she turns into an ancient black hole meteorite, she is almost suppressed again, but her actions are easier than before. Even though he has done a lot, he can still pose a great threat to Zhang Zizai. However, after Zhang Zizai threw the Emperor Demon Sword Wheel, a small black clock appeared on his hand. At this juncture, he let the black starlight burst out from Yin Zhaijun hit him several times, but the Chaos Bell blocked him, almost unscathed. When the ancient black hole meteorite bombarded him, he directly struck the Chaos Soul Bell with his palm. Requiem. When this melodious and strange requiem sounded, the speed of the ancient black hole meteorite slowed down directly, and even staggered. Even if she turned into a totem body, she still couldn't stop the pressure of Zhang Zizai's heavenly soul and the Chaos Soul Bell. To be honest, this was Zhang Zizai's trump card. The opponent's rampage made him use all his trump cards, which was already very good. Under the Requiem, Yin Zhaijun could only lose his soul, upside down, rolling in chaos, and couldn't touch Zhang Zizai. He was directly hit by the sword wheel dance of the Emperor Demon Sword Wheel several times, cutting off large pieces of his body. It's over. Zhang Zizai changed the tune directly. When the Requiem was switched to the soul-killing song, the real killing power came. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1230. The Requiem had made her infatuated, and her soul's resistance was extremely weak. It was the most terrifying time to use the soul-killing song. If she used the soul-killing song directly, the effect would not be very great. Now the soul-killing song suddenly appeared, and thousands of troops rushed in at once, as if countless swords were hitting Yin Zhaijun's soul. Even the soul of the God King screamed at this time. Zhang Zizai, it's enough, you have to be gentle with women. The moment the voice of the Dragon Emperor came, Zhang Zizai's soul-killing song stopped instantly. In an instant, he put away the 9 dragons Chaos God Bell, looked at the trembling ancient black hole meteorite with a smile, and smiled, "Sorry, Sister Yin, thank you." This was the real end. When Yin Zhaijun couldn't hold on and returned to human form, her face was pale, and there were a lot of blood on her body because of the scratches from the Emperor Demon Sword Wheel. The wound was recovering, but the speed was definitely not as fast as Zhang Zizai. At this time, her face was pale, obviously defeated. In fact, the biggest trauma was in her soul. Even if her body could still allow it, the trauma to her soul made her dizzy and trembling, still immersed in the terrible killing power just now. It was not until she was pulled back by the Emperor of Xing that she realized that she had lost. "Brother Xing, I'm a little embarrassed. Young people don't know how to control their strength." The Emperor of Shenlong apologized quickly. "It doesn't matter. If you don't fight with all your strength, how can you tell the winner? I can see that you really picked up a treasure this time," the Emperor of Xing said. From his reaction, you can't tell whether he is happy or angry, but being able to favor his daughter to this extent shows that he loves Yin Zhaijun very much. The ancient realm is a dangerous place. Today's defeat is also a good preparation for you. It is not the Xing divine realm. You really need to rely on yourself in the future. You must learn to endure and hide. Did you learn a lesson from today's experience? The Emperor of Xing seemed to take this opportunity as an opportunity to educate his daughter. He really wanted Yin Zhaijun to be more low-key. She just spoke without restraint, otherwise Zhang Zizai would not have fought with her. "Got it." Yin Zhaijun lowered her head and said. It was unknown whether she accepted this lesson, but it was certain that she would resent Zhang Zizai very much, because he was definitely the first person in her life to teach her a lesson. Yin Zijun was immediately surrounded by a group of men, basically brothers and other characters who comforted her. Unlike the Star River Emperor, they occasionally looked at Zhang Zizai with very fierce eyes. It was probably telling Yin Zijun that if they met Zhang Zizai in the ancient realm, they would definitely avenge Yin Zijun. In addition, more people were shocked by Zhang Zizai's current strength. Even on the side of the Supreme Dragon clan, many people did not expect him to be so powerful. Now, some people who had questioned his qualifications before were finally convinced. Congratulations to the Supreme Dragon clan. It has been a long time since anyone has been able to subdue the 9-Dragon Chaos Divine Bell, a top-notch divine artifact. I didn't expect that a divine monarch could actually subdue it. It is considered to be a historical breakthrough. It is a bit of an underestimation to say that he is a genius of 100,000 years. I think it is at least 1,000,000 years, the Star River Emperor complimented. This child still has a long way to go. Now is the beginning. The most important thing is to be modest. I just treat the ancient realm as an opportunity for him to gain experience, the Dragon Emperor said modestly. I wonder which master this genius is the son of, the Star River Emperor asked. Generally speaking, to have such an achievement, one must be the son of a top-notch god. He even thought that this might be the son of the Dragon Emperor. Zhang Zizai was born in an ordinary family, and his parents are just ordinary ancient gods. To be honest, this is what I admire about him. This child has a strong will, has experienced a lot, and has a mature heart. He is indeed extraordinary if he can change his fate against the will of heaven. Of course, he needs to keep his original heart in the future. Don't expect too much first, just hope that he doesn't ruin the reputation of the 9-Dragon Chaos Divine Bell, the Dragon Emperor said. Through their conversation, the Zinc Divine clan also completely knew Zhang Zizai's current status and strength. They had never heard of such a person in the Supreme Dragon clan before. After that, when he looked at Zhang Zizai again, his eyes were different. But Zhang Zizai was not arrogant or impatient. After his performance, he retreated back to the crowd. Through this battle, he also positioned himself. Yin Zijun was definitely the top of the 3rd level of the Divine King realm, so he should be invincible in this realm, especially the lethality of the Chaos Soul Bell was unstoppable. No matter how strong the opponent is, Zhang Zizai is not worried that the Chaos Soul Bell cannot break the opponent's soul, but that his ancient god source power is not enough to control the opponent, so he first oppresses the opponent to the point of suffocation. The ancient realm is still a very dangerous place. But this cannot drown his fighting spirit. This is his first battle. In the future, he will fight more fiercely. Now there is no fear in his eyes. The identity of the opponent is not an obstacle for him. Yin Zijun's identity is already high enough, but he still beat her up. Only strength is the capital to survive in the ancient realm. I have to say that it is unprecedented for a godly lord to get the 9-Dragon Chaos God Bell. I am very curious about the future development of this child, Xing Tiandi said at the end. Although he dotes on Yin Zijun, since he decided to let her fight in the ancient realm, he must have been prepared to let her experience danger, so he seemed to sigh more about Zhang Zizai. This made Yin Zijun very upset, and he had no choice but to listen to the comfort of his brothers. After all, their battlefield was not here, but in the ancient realm. After this little interlude, the two teams continued to set off. The Star River Emperor and the Dragon Emperor continued to chat and laugh, not affected by the confrontation between the two God King gates. The two sides had little communication, and the scene of rushing on the road was very cold and awkward, but they still walked together for a long time under the leadership of the two top beings, and rushed to the ancient realm together. There are a total of 49 God realms, and there may be nearly 100 teams, but the Void Realm network is very large, and people are approaching the center from all directions. It is normal not to meet, after all, the departure time of each team is not the same. It's almost there, Tianlong God King suddenly said. How do you know? Zhang Zizai asked while looking at the vast void in front of him. He couldn't see anything anyway. I heard it when I eavesdropped on the conversation between the Dragon Emperor and the Star River Emperor. Tianlong God King smiled. Haha. Zhang Zizai was also full of anticipation. His blood was boiling, and he was just waiting to reach the ancient realm. He had already prepared to go in and fight this year. Anyway, he had the 9-dragon Chaos Divine Bell, and his ability to escape was very strong. As long as he didn't die in there, he should have many opportunities. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Feng Qingyang. Chapter 1231. The void road in front of them suddenly became much wider. People arrived immediately. In the blink of an eye, they opened their eyes and saw that the front was suddenly open and there was an endless void. This was the center of the void network, the center of the 49 divine realms, and the center of the entire world. This void must be large enough to accommodate the entire ancient realm. When Zhang Zizai came out of the void road, he saw the ancient realm at first sight. To be honest, he was still very shocked, because the ancient realm was a huge sphere, a black sun, with black flames burning on the surface of the black sun, but people could not feel the temperature. Zhang Zizai understood that the sea of fire formed by countless black flames covering the entire sphere should be very scary, because even the Dragon Emperor stopped when he was still some distance away from the black flames, saying, "No need to go deeper, just wait here for the opening of the ancient realm, no one should approach privately, otherwise the ancient black fire will instantly burn the soul clean." When everyone heard this, of course they didn't dare to mess around, this was no joke. After getting closer, they found that the ancient realm was very huge. They stayed at this position, and the vision of half of the world in front was full of this black sea of fire. Looking around, those black flames formed waves, sweeping over the sphere. The scene was very spectacular. In front of this ancient realm, the gods were really amazed to think that they would actually enter such a place in the future. How long will it take for the ancient realm to open? Once it opens, will the black flame disappear? Zhang Zizai asked. The time is uncertain. It should be until everyone arrives. Anyway, Qingyang ancient god wants people to come directly, but if someone is late for too long, he may open the ancient realm directly. At that time, the ancient black fire will not disappear, but we will be protected when we pass through it, Tianlong God King said. What will be inside? Zhang Zizai asked curiously. I don't know. The ancient realm has no specific appearance. It is said that every time you enter it, it is different, and anything can happen, Tianlong God King said solemnly. In this case, it is very mysterious. Zhang Zizai still has some yearning. This is a strange test. At that time, no one knows the rules, and no one knows what to do to become the first of the 49 sacrifices, so that you can worship the origin cave and get good fortune. The next step is to wait. In fact, other teams should have arrived, but because the ancient realm is so big, everyone came from different directions, so even if they arrived, they didn't gather together. After all, they had already reached the destination, and no one was random around to meet other people. For example, the Dragon Emperor and his group basically left after bringing people. While waiting silently, time passed, and the ancient realm could be opened at any time, so no one dared to be careless. After all, if they missed the time to enter, it would be funny. In addition, the Xing God clan was still nearby, and because of the battle between Zhang Zizai and Yin Zijun, they often looked over and stared at this side. It is estimated that many people have promised Yin Zijun that they will help her beat Zhang Zizai up when the time comes. Of course, in the ancient realm, killing is allowed, and it is best not to let a third party see it. Qingyang, ancient god, who doesn't care who lives or dies, he has lived for so long, and the birth and death of people below the God King is probably the same as the birth and death of ants to mortals. It was just that Zhang Ziyi was quietly waiting, and he never expected that he would see a completely unexpected person coming out of the Void Road and heading towards the ancient realm, just in time to meet Zhang Ziyi in their team. This was a person that Zhang Ziyi was familiar with, but had not seen for a long time. A middle-aged man who seemed decadent, with messy hair, wearing green clothes, and a scattered look, but now he had a terrifying dark aura. When he was in the mortal world, he was called Jushan, and at this moment, his name was Nether Demon. He was the second person in the Chaos Demon realm. After the death of the immortal Venerable, he lurked in the Origin continent. In fact, he made a lot of sacrifices, otherwise with his ability, it would be impossible to survive in the Totem world. There are many mysteries about him. He left before he had time to say goodbye. When they met again today, Zhang Ziyi remembered that he could ask Jushan a lot of things. Unfortunately, Zhang Ziyi was in the crowd of the Supreme Dragon clan, and Jushan couldn't see him at all. He came out of the Void Road with 5 God Kings and happened to meet the Dragon Emperor. This is the ancient realm. The moment the Dragon Emperor saw the Nether Demon, he went straight over. There is no doubt that this is the best opportunity to kill the Nether Demon. Usually, the Nether Demon will never leave the Chaos Demon realm. He is the most important person to the immortal Venerable so far and the most capable subordinate. Even if he is not killed, once he is captured, he will be an important hostage. So the Dragon Emperor acted decisively and took action directly. Qingyang Taigu God gave 5 places to the Chaos Demon realm, Xing Tiandi muttered to himself, looking quite surprised. After all, the Chaos Demon realm has never had any places. It used to be the ruling boundary of the Supreme Dragon clan. A place of enslavement. This time, the opportunity to participate in the 49th sacrifice is absolutely unprecedented. It represents the recognition of the Qingyang Taigu God, which plays a very important role in the future rise of the Chaos Demon realm and the confrontation with the Supreme Dragon clan. However, if they were unfortunate enough to meet the Dragon Emperor here at this time, he would definitely not let them have a smooth journey. Netherworld. Surrender. In Zhang Ziyi's eyes, the Dragon Emperor suddenly appeared in front of the Netherworld, and the two sides collided directly. In the first moment, the Netherworld pushed the 5 God Kings behind him to the back. These 5 God Kings looked very young. They should be the power cultivated by the immortal Venerable himself, and they may be the future of the chaotic demon world. After protecting the 5 God Kings, the Netherworld demon also retreated, but at this time the Dragon Emperor directly attacked, with a shocking sound, and a golden light could be seen. A beam of destructive golden light was penetrating towards the Netherworld demon. The Netherworld demon's strength is definitely not as good as the Dragon Emperor. The Dragon Emperor is the peak of the Supreme Dragon clan, and only the immortal Venerable can match him. Without the intention of all living beings, the Netherworld demon has no way to retreat at this time. At this time, even Zhang Ziyi was thinking, is he likely to die here? Unexpectedly, in the next moment, another black light suddenly blocked the golden light. The golden light was shattered by the shock, dissipated between heaven and earth, and exploded in the void, as dazzling as fireworks. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Feng Qingyang. Chapter 1232. Zhang Ziyi clearly saw that another person appeared in front of the underworld. It was a young man with black hair. He had a pale complexion, blood red and narrow eyes, and thin lips. This man was tall and had pointed fingers. He is thin and has a charming temperament, but he is absolutely terrifying. He can block the attack of the Divine Dragon Emperor, and is obviously on the same level as the Divine Dragon Emperor. After he appeared, the Shenlong Heavenly Emperor stopped taking action. He was obviously wary of this person, but he was indeed very unhappy. He asked in a deep voice, "Hundong Demon Emperor, does this matter have anything to do with you? I will kill Ni. Thief, what are you doing here?" It turns out that this young man with blood eyes is called the Hundong Demon Emperor. The Hundong Demon clan is a very large group, all of them are ancient demon cultivators. Like the Supreme Dragon clan, they control the Hundong Demon territory of the same size. The Hundong Demon Emperor is very powerful. Perhaps more powerful than the Divine Dragon Heavenly Emperor. Even stronger, Tianlong God King said softly. Sure enough, he is really another big figure in the 49 God realm, but why is he protecting the underworld demon in the Chaos Demon realm? In the midst of everyone's confusion, the Hundong Demon Emperor said, "First, they were invited by Qingyang Ancient God and have the quota to enter the ancient realm. I stopped you because I was afraid that you would disrupt Qingyang Ancient realm. God's plan is for your good. Are you kidding? I won't do anything to these 5 God Kings. The underworld demon is not a participant. He has already sent people to die," Shenlong Tiandi said. "Then listen to me. Secondly, don't you see it? He is a member of my Hundong Demon clan. Although this guy is stubborn by nature, he never reveals his Hundong Demon clan. He is a member of the clan, but as a compatriot of mine, if you want to kill him, how can I just sit back and watch?" Hundong Demon Emperor asked. "Is he a Hundong Demon clan?" Emperor Shenlong narrowed his eyes. This was bad news for him. The underworld demon has always been in the Chaos Demon realm, and his true background has not been investigated. In addition, he has never revealed it, so until now, no one really knows that he is a Hundong Demon clan. Isn't it the same? Take a closer look, Hundong Demon Emperor said with a smile. "This guy doesn't take it seriously. He and I are half-brothers, but he has never been with anyone else. As I said, you still have to let me protect you." When he said all this, the underworld demon didn't say anything. He looked at the Shenlong Emperor with cold eyes, with only murderous thoughts in his eyes. "Are you responsible for your words?" Emperor Shenlong asked Hundong Demon Emperor again. Responsible? Obviously, the relationship between the two tribes was already very bad. At this juncture, the Hundong Demon Emperor suddenly stood up to support the underworld demon. This was clearly a signal. The Hundong Demon clan might be involved in making dragon sacrifices. Civil strife in the divine domain. So, I'm going to kill the rebels in the Dragon God realm, and you, the Hundong Demon clan, are going to interfere? No one has done this kind of violation of the rules for a long time. When the time comes, hundreds of millions of people will die. Are you sure you will be responsible? Shenlong Tiandi said again, asked in a deep voice. Sin, don't blame me. I was just protecting my brother outside the ancient realm today. I never said I would interfere with your sacrifice to the Dragon God realm. Don't think about it randomly. Hundong Demon Emperor said with a smile. Whether it is interference or not is not up to him. The Shenlong Heavenly Emperor does have a headache. If the Hundong Demon clan is involved in this matter, it will be very difficult to deal with it. It would be a disaster. However, he is also a tough guy. When the enemy comes with provocation, he is definitely not afraid. Then please do what you say, otherwise no one in our Supreme Dragon clan will be afraid of death, the Dragon Emperor said calmly. With his protection today, it is impossible to kill the underworld demon. If they join forces, he will be in danger. Therefore, there is no need for the Dragon Emperor to continue to pester. This is a bad signal. First, the Dragon Sacrifice God realm must be on guard. I never thought there would be a threat from the Hundong Demon clan before. Today, I knew it in advance, so I was lucky. If it weren't for the danger of the Nether Demon, the Hundong Demon Emperor wouldn't have appeared. Therefore, after the Divine Dragon Emperor finished speaking, he returned directly. Behind him, The Hundong Demon Emperor rolled his eyes at the underworld demon and said with a smile, "I protected your life again. Go back and tell your master that I will visit her next time. I don't mind her taking her with you. A daughter, a destined person, doesn't care about this, after all, we live too long, right?" After finishing speaking, he took hundreds of god kings from the Hundong demon tribe and flew away. The underworld demon didn't say anything, and he also left. When he left the side of the Shenlong Emperor, he separated from the Hundong demon clan, and took 5 people from the clan to hide in the darkness. The periphery of the ancient realm is so big, it will be difficult for them to find the underworld demon again this time. After returning, the expression of Emperor Shenlong didn't look very good. Actually, I think he doesn't have the guts. If he gets involved, what will other gods think? It's very taboo to interfere in the internal affairs of other gods. The underworld is his younger brother, so he should discipline him well, take people away instead of planting them and letting your cronies revel in other gods. If this is the case, I think other gods will definitely not sit idly by, said the Emperor of the Galaxy. That's what I say, but Hundong Demon Emperor has done too many shocking things. He might really be chaotic, so he still has to be on guard. After all, in a competition of this level, one wrong move will he is an eternal sinner, the Shenlong Heavenly Emperor thought deeply. Indeed, he has been a shameless person since he became famous, Xing Tiandi said. But I never expected that this nether demon actually has such an identity. The Dragon Emperor is now just waiting for the opening of the ancient realm, sending Zhang Zizai in, and then going back to make more arrangements. Sometimes, precautions are definitely a good thing. For example, they rebuilt the Zilong Academy, which at least allows the younger generation of geniuses to practice safely. This decision directly made Zhang Zizai rise and come here today. Next, it is a quiet wait. I have a premonition that this Hundong Demon Emperor will not stop. Throughout history, the Hundong Demon clan has one of the worst relations with us. There have been many disputes between god kings and gods, and even gods have fought and died, the dragon god king said. Oh, Zhang Zizai nodded. He was not very interested. His attention was still on the ancient realm. Only if Long Yan was not dead, he could think about other things. In the endless waiting, there was a moment when the black sun of the ancient realm shook, and then Zhang Zizai suddenly found that he had a light blue spherical shield on his body. The light on the spherical shield was flowing, and there was nothing strange, but Zhang Zizai had already seen someone rushing towards the ancient realm. It's open, let's go, Shenlong Tiandi said to everyone. Good, the time came for the god kings to really get excited. Remember, kill the immortal lord, Shenlong Tiandi said again. If they succeed, then all the troubles will be gone.